Hey guys, sorry I was eating a Kit Kat. Welcome back to CTOTD, cooking tip of the day. Today's tip is coming offline, and it's going to be about cake. Not everybody likes cake, but a lot of people like cake, and a lot of times, depending on what cake you make, hey, that rhymes. Depending on like what recipe you use, the tips I'm going to give you are pretty universal. So yeah, just gonna get started. Minimize this. I'm getting this tip offline, FYI. Okay, so you know how when you put a cake in a pan, typically you spray the pan. Some people like to put flour on the bottom of the pan to keep it from sticking. Either one works. However, if you're making a dark chocolate cake or, a regular chocolate cake or a darker cake like, red velvet or something, and you don't want that white dusty look on the bottom of your cake, you can use chocolate cocoa powder, to put that on the bottom of the pan. And obviously it's dark, so you're not going to see it when you pull the cake out. Tip 2 is to test the doneness of a cake. A lot of people, I feel like my hands are like, woo, girl. A lot of people use toothpicks, which is fine. Toothpicks are very thin at the end, get fatter towards the middle. If you don't want to poke such a giant, not that it's giant, because it's not. If you don't want to poke such a big hole into your cake, you can use a raw piece of spaghetti. It'll do the same thing. If it sticks, it's not done. If it doesn't stick, it's done. And then the last tip is when you take your cake out and you want to take it out of the pan, if your cake sticks to the pan after you bake it, set your pan over a pot of boiling water for like a minute or two, up to like, 3 or 4 minutes, whatever, and it should come out of the pan nice and neat without sticking to the bottom. So that's it. I'm going to add a couple more of my own. When you're frosting a cake, let your cake cool completely before you frost it. This will help keep the frosting from melting, and it'll go on much smoother and much nicer. When you make a cake, if you're making it from scratch, make sure that you use the right kind of flour. That is like one of the biggest things that we're learning about in my baking class right now. There's tons of different kinds of flour. There's pastry flour, there's cake flour, there's bread flour, there's high gluten flour, there's all-purpose flour. Just make sure, if you're doing a box cake, usually everything comes mixed, but if you're like doing your own recipe or following someone else's recipe, make sure you use the right type of flour, because it will make a huge difference. So yeah, that's it. That's my last tip for cakes. So, that's cupcakes, regular cakes. Cakes are different. There's different kinds of cakes, whatever. But most of these tips are pretty universal. So I hope these were helpful. And yeah, I will see you guys in the next video. Bye. Don't forget to subscribe. Hit that button right now. Hit it, hit it, hit it. Goodbye.